Hey y'all, I have a knee video for you today. So I had a request for knee exercises. I also wanted to show off my new Halloween spooky decor. Yeah,
Oh,
Halloween. I want to talk about healthy knees, some problems you might encounter if you have some creaky or tight or injured knees. And then first of all, before we get into that, I'm a massage therapist and a personal trainer, so I am not here to diagnose your condition. So that would be your first step is go get some imaging, MRI, X-ray, go see a medical professional. Then you'll have more information and know, okay, is my next step PT? Is my next step therapeutic exercise? Should I go get some acupuncture? Do I need surgery? So this is all like, you've already covered all that. Now you're like, all right, Anne's going to show me some things that'll help me support this joint. Yeah, strengthen. So what does a healthy knee look like? I want to have a nice range of motion to be able to go from a totally straight joint to, you could argue, like 130, 135 degrees of bend or flexion. Yeah, and I'll show you what this means here in a second when I get up and start moving. What could be some signs of dysfunction? Pain, tightness. And so we often, you hear a lot about like an ACL tear, right? You got other ligaments too, but the ACL, he's the most popular. This happens when you're standing and there's a twisting action to your knee. So your knee's not meant to twist a whole lot, especially when it's locked. There is a little bit of play. So you think of like your footballers, right? Drew Brees got to throw a pass and here comes a 350-pound linebacker. I had a client who was on vacation and in like knee deep water, and a wave came and kind of bonked her to the side, and she's had a little funny stuff in her knee ever since. This could also be from things like movement patterns that maybe aren't serving you, or posture. One of my ladies had pain in both knees, and she went to the physical therapist and they watched her sit in her office chair, and they noticed that she was tucking her feet under her. And so she's trying to get out of this habit of tucking her feet. So one thing you could do is just start to notice yourself, how you move. Do my knees hurt in the morning? Do they hurt after I went for a long walk? What about going downhill? So is it only when you're on your bike, right? So the more data points you can collect, the more information you have as far as, what do I need to address? What can I do to make this better? Does it feel better after I do some stretching and yoga? Have I tried heat or ice? So these are a lot of things you could try to help solve this problem, which is decrease your pain, increase strength and mobility. Yeah, that's what we're going for. So something I notice a lot with a lot of my clients, and I could make a broad generalization, is when I see knee pain, often what comes with that is tight quads, the front of your legs, and weak hamstrings. Now we could go all the way up the chain into your hip, your shoulder and neck. We could go down into your foot and ankle. I'm trying to keep this to just knees today, for brevity's sake. But do understand that you are a whole person, right? So you got this knee thing, but there are other things that could be at play, even like your emotions, right? So Louise Hay has this great book where she breaks down correlations between body parts, different things that may be going on in the body, and then different maybe emotional stuff. And then the knee one is being rigid. So this is something to consider, right? It's not like, well, I'm a jerk and I'm too rigid and this is why my knee hurts, but could there be an emotional component? Could that be something to explore? Possibly. Okay, but what we're talking about today is specifically nuts and bolts of exercises that you can do to support your knee. So we're going to do strength and mobility for your quads, the front of your thigh, hamstrings, and a little bit calves. So all the muscles that support your knee or that attach right to your knee. So I'm down here on the floor so we can start with our release work or mobilization. So this is my little kneecap. See this little guy? Yeah. So I might just start by massaging my knee. And I'm not like trying to get in there and bust anything out. I'm just giving a little hi, how are you? I got a big old tendon that runs this direction here. I can go across that tendon. I can go the same direction. I can just do a nice general warming up of all of this tissue. Yeah, I can come up here on the side, and I might start to notice, like when I come up to this lateral side of my kneecap, I can feel some little gristly stuff in there. I got all kind of tendons and ligaments. When I get up into here, this is where my IT band and my quads come in. That might feel kind of tight or sticky. I'm just doing a little good morning, waking stuff up. I can come down here underneath my kneecap and again do back and forth, north and south, circles, circles. Now let's see if you can see this. I can actually get next to my kneecap. Can you see how I can move it left and right? Yeah, so there is a little bit of wiggle room with that kneecap. It's not bolted onto my knee. Okay, yeah, so that's a little warm up for my all that soft tissue around my knee. Yeah. Now this is also a nice release exercise. I'm hanging on. You see I'm hanging on? These are where my two hamstrings actually insert behind and under my knee. So I'm not poking with my fingers. I'm holding my hand kind of like this with a flat finger. I'm just doing a little bit of straighten, bend and straighten. I can hear my knee cracking when I do this. So if you hear noises cracking and popping, this is often could be that joint getting lubricated. It could be air being released from the joint. Yeah, so if any of this hurts, don't do it. It's a little warmy, warmy. I could also do a little circle. So I do have some lateral and medial movement in my knee joint. Yeah, and mostly its job is to flex and extend or bend and straighten. But there is a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, now let's talk about what a totally straight knee looks like. Some of my people have trouble getting their knee all the way straight. So if your knees are always in this sort of bent position, probably the culprit, tight hammies, I would guess. Yeah. So this is a good thing to work on, is getting your knees straight but not locked. So this could be an interesting exercise if that's a challenge for you, just working on getting your knees straight. Now, if this is not a comfortable position for you to sit in, don't worry, because I got some other moves to show you in a minute. Yeah. Now, for me, when I straighten my legs all the way, can you see how my heels popped up off the ground? Yeah, so that's a little bit hyper extended. That would be the other side of the coin if I've got too much mobility. So I try to work on straightening my legs, but not hyper extending them. So this is another good release exercise. I'm just going to swing my leg. I'm standing on a block just so I don't stub my toe as I do this. I'm letting this be really loose, loosening up my knee and letting my knee bend. Now you can see my hip is also moving. I'm having to work a little to balance. Whoa, don't fall off the wall. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the other side. So I'm letting my knee bend, swinging my leg. Easy does it. And so this protocol we're going through could be what you do before a run or before a walk or before getting on your bike. And this is, I'm going to call this still more release work or getting ready to move, pre-exercise movement. This is high knees. I'm just lifting my knee. Can you see how my knee is bending? So I'm going pretty slow. Bend and straighten, bend and straighten. If you are okay with jumping, you could jump. This could be a faster move. So your other version of this would be bending your heel, kicking your heel towards your bum. Yeah, now what I'm trying to avoid doing is this. Ink, see how my whole hip and everything moves? So I'm focusing on my knee. Yeah, and again, slow-mo, bend and straighten, faster version. This is just getting our knees moving. Now I can do a little squat variation. I'm just bending my knees, bend and straighten. I can do little circles. So again, this could be a nice warm up before you go do a hike, bike ride. So I did some circles each direction. Okay, so let's talk about how to organize your legs. Watch watch me when I straighten my legs. Watch what my legs do. Did you see that? If I straighten and push my legs back, my knees sort of rotate in. So what I'm going to think about in this position is pulling up on my kneecaps, pulling up with these quad muscles. So I'm going to relax and then pull up on my quad muscles. Relax. So this is what I'm calling organization. This is soft knees, and then I pull up. So I'm just starting to wake up all the muscles around my quad. I can feel my inner thighs working, pushing down into my big toes. Relax your knees, pull up without locking. So this would be locking and kind of rolling your legs back. Instead, I'm thinking everything pulling in and up, in and up. So this is organized, meaning my quads are engaged, but really my whole leg is engaged. So this would be, say, your mountain pose in yoga, maybe the beginning of a yoga class, standing really upright. Okay, I'm back on the floor. Are you still with me? Stay with me. I'm just going to keep looking around. This is your bridge, and this is to wake up hamstrings. Yep. So I would call this organization, but also strength. So I'm thinking of pushing into my big toe, pinky toe heel, lifting my hips to some degree. So again, we're going for pain-free movement. Shouldn't hurt your back or your neck. What I feel, backs of my legs working, and I'm thinking of stretching this whole front side from my chest to my knees. So maybe like 10 of these guys. Bridging up, backs of your legs, hamstrings. Yeah, uh-oh, I didn't count. I gotta count. Let's do 5 more. 4. So I'm really thinking kneecaps reach away. 3, 2, last one. Okay, that was your bridge. Now, this is one of my new favorites. It's a quad exercise, front of my leg. Deceptively difficult. So again, if you have trouble even being in this position, I'll show you in a second how to do this from a chair. But if you can sit with legs extended long, I'm going to push my hands into the mat and almost picture like doing a somersault forward. So my tummy's engaged, and then see if you can lift your leg. We'll do 10 of these guys. 1, 2. So I'm pulling up on my kneecap. 3, 4. Harder than it looks. 5, 6. Whoa. So my quad is kind of cramping a little, working. 8, 9, 10. Now I could get a little spicy with this and add a lift up and over my other leg. Ooh, up and over. So now I'm adding a little adductor. I'm going up and over. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So I'm working the front of my leg, tummy muscles. What do I got left? 4, 3, 2, last 1. Shake out your legs, take a rest break. Last piece of this is taking my leg up and over to the side, like I'm picking it up over a little tennis ball. 2, 3. I can push my hands into the ground, pull my belly in. 4, 5. So this is a leg lift. 7. I'm trying to not lean back. 8. Oh, I'm counting the wrong way. What am I doing? 1 more. So I'll just quickly go through the other side. 10 of these. 1, 2. I actually count. 3, 4, 5. I'm pulling up on my kneecap. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a little rest break. Rub your legs if you need to. So same idea, but now I'm coming up and over. 1, 2. I might tap the top of my big toe or cross my foot over my ankle. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest break. Shake out your legs. Go out to the side, same leg, 10 of these. 1, 2, push your hands into the mat. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake out your legs and rest. Okay, this is another variation on your quad strength exercise. So if you struggle with sitting upright on the floor, this is a similar move. I'm going to bend and straighten this knee. So I'm stretching my leg or pushing my heel away. 3. You see on my kneecap, I'm pulling up on my kneecap, tightening this muscle. 5. Now I'm on a Swiss ball. 7. But you can do this from a chair, dining chair. 9. 10. Now I'm going to hold and do tiny little lifts. This is exactly what we did on the floor. 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to stay really upright. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that last one was hard. Shake out your legs. Rub them. I'm going to go ahead and do side number 2. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Yeah. So if I'm on the ball, I'm adding a little balance element. If you not have to worry about your balance, find a sturdy chair. Bending and straightening. My thighs are pretty much staying where they are. I'm not really dropping this leg down and up. Let's go 4, 3, 2. Now I'm going to keep this straight knee. Lift my leg and lower. And lift. It's a tiny little lift. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm pulling up on this kneecap. 7, 8. Trying to sit up nice and tall. Last one. Ooh. Okay, so these were quad exercises, strengthening the front of my leg. Okay, I'm back on the floor to show you a hamstring exercise. Hamstring, back of your leg. If you're not comfortable in this position, don't worry. I got a standing version I'm going to show too in a little bit. So what's nice about this floor variation, the floor is keeping my thigh where it is as I bend and straighten my knee. So I can't cheat. And I'll show you what I mean when I stand up. So I'm contracting the back of my leg and bringing my heel to my bum. And this is another one of these harder than it looks moves, to not move my hip. So if I wasn't stabilizing my pelvis, here's what would happen. All right, see how my whole pelvis like rotated? So that's not wrong or bad, but I'm more specifically targeting my hamstring if I can keep my pelvis nice and still. Yeah, I'm going to show other leg. I'm going to keep doing this slow-mo version. And again, none of this should hurt. It might feel like, oh, that's interesting. One side might feel a lot different than the other. Yeah, now there is a version of a Pilates move that we do in our Wednesday night class that we move right along. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm stretching my legs. So there's relaxed. There's stretched legs. That lifted my kneecaps off the ground gently. I'm going to do 2 quick kicks. Kick, kick. Stretch my leg out. So the faster I go, the harder this is to control. One more each side. So if you need to, go back to that slow version, which looked more like this. Slow-mo. Yeah. So this was hamstring curl, bending and straightening my knee. I'm back up standing. I got my balance buddy here, my foam roller, but you could also use a dining chair for this if you know your balance is a little bit squirrely. And it's nice to not have to be so worried about your balance. So this is a version of that hammy curl. I showed you the floor version. I could also stand and do this. Bend and straighten, and bend and straighten. Now I was talking about cheating. Here's what a cheat might look like. See how my whole hip hiked up? And my knee came forward. My hamstring's not doing anything right now. Now, oh, there's my hamstring working. This guy back here. Yeah. So we often do this little series in our Saturday morning bar class. We'll do a little bend and straighten, bend and straighten. We'll hold, don't fall over. and do little pulses. Yeah, that's a fun one. Ooh, so I for sure feel this hamstring working now. And then we'll do little pulses going back. So now I'm getting a little bit hip, hamstring. Yeah, I'm gonna show this whole thing on the other side. So let's do 10 of each thing. I'll do it. 10, 9, I'm going bend and straighten, 8, 7, and I'm trying to keep my thighs pretty still. That's 5. In other words, I'm not doing this. 3, 2, 1. Let's stay here and do our 10 little pulses. Pulse in, pulse in, pulse. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to now press my foot back to the back wall. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Okay, we did our release work. We got organized. That meant we were pulling up on our kneecaps. I showed you a couple strength things from bridge, hamstring curl, that quad, leg lift, less stretch, and just happens to be in October, I'm shooting this, and one of our October 5 is our dancer, yoga dancer. So some of my ladies do have some funny business going on with their knees. So what they do when we're doing this move in our yoga class is just this. They might do this and rest their foot on the ottoman or a little piece of furniture or a chair. That might be enough to feel a little stretch down the front of your hip, a little work in your hamstring. If you know that your knees like this move, okay, where you grab a hold of your foot, that's where we're headed eventually. If you're like, too much for me right now, go find a towel or a strap and you can strap your foot. So that just lengthens your arm a little bit. Yeah, so I want to find a comfortable stretch for the front of my quad. Remember I was talking earlier about often quad tightness can contribute to some knee funny business. So this is a very conservative version of your yoga dancer. Yeah, I'm going to show the other side. So I bend my knee. Maybe I'm able to grab a hold of my foot or use the band. Now here's something to watch out for. Can you keep your ribs flat? Can you extend this hip, or does it feel like things start to go south? If so, go back to one of those other versions. Yeah, so I'm basically hiding my foot behind my hip. I'm not out here. I'm not doing any piking or twisting. Then once I get that going, I might take my leg back, yeah, or pull my foot towards my bum. I can start to play with this a little bit, as long as I don't feel any knee pain. So that's your standing quad stretch, a version of your yoga dancer. I have a little towel. I want to show you a calf stretch while we're up. So if you have a towel or a couch cushion, grab it, and we'll do a little calf stretch. I'm going to stand with my heel on the floor and the front of my foot, my big toe, pinky toe, on my toes, on the towel. And then I can just start to lean forward. Yeah, so that might be plenty, my little lean. Yeah, I might be able to walk what was my back foot forward. And then I can play with slightly bent back knee or straight back knee. Take a couple breaths here. Yeah, so I'll show you on the other leg. I got heel on the ground, toes, ball of my foot on my towel. I'm going to start to lean and possibly walk my foot forward. So I could end up in a sort of mini lunge. And then I'll get a little different stretch if I soften that back knee. Now this is how we've been doing our hamstring stretch as of late. You see where I put the band across the ball of my foot? I'm going to rest my leg all the way on the ground. In fact, I'm mushing my leg into the mat. So I'm tightening up the back of my leg. Take a big deep breath. Now I relax my leg and let it float up. So I'm feeling a stretch all the way down the whole back side of my leg. I'm mushing my leg, lifting. So this is how I've been doing my stretches lately, rather than a static held, long static held stretch. Let's try leg number 2. I'm going to mush my leg into the ground. Take a big deep breath. Relax your leg, real easy. Let your leg float up. So how do I know where to stop? When I feel like I have to do this, like tuck my pelvis, that's probably not so hot because that's no longer stretching my hamstring. Now I've turned that into a whole other thing. So for some of you, that might be this is your end point. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be foot over your face. In fact, if your foot is over your face, you're probably no longer stretching your hamstring. So I feel the stretch all the way down the back of my leg. And a stretch. Okay, so these were a few knee strength and mobility and flexibility exercises. So to recap, go see a doctor if you've got something going on, chronic stabbing pain. Get an MRI, get an X-ray, figure out what's going on. Then you'll be able to decide, what do I want to do at home? Can I get a little physical therapy? Can I do some of these exercises? Can I start to pay attention to what makes my body feel good? What makes my body feel kind of squeaky? And then postural stuff. How am I moving around the house? What things am I doing to support this knee? Can I get some walks in during the day? Yeah. Okay, check this out and let me know if you have feedback, thoughts. Does any of this work for you? Yeah, shoot me an email and let me know about your needs.